Hey, how's it going? And welcome to something a little different today. So I'm going to be doing my summer backlog challenge for 2023. For those that don't know, the summer backlog challenge used to be a pretty big thing in a certain part of the retro game and game collecting community where basically a bunch of people would make YouTube videos showing off maybe 5 or 10 games that they wanted to complete by the end of the summer that were in their collection. For whatever reason, it seems over the last couple of years that nobody's really been making videos participating in the challenge, and I kind of want to try and bring it back. There's not really any super strict rules, so if you want to say the start of June to the start of September, or if you want to say the first day of summer to the last day of summer, which is probably what I'm going to be doing because I started a little late, but pretty much in the next 3 months or so, I'm going to try and beat at least 5 of these 10 games I'm going to be showing. I'm going to start with PlayStation, move into Xbox, then go into the Nintendo stuff. So I have 2 PS3 games here, the first one being Ratchet & Clank's Future Tools of Destruction. I played at least half of 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗘𝗦 back in the day, but it's really the only Ratchet game I've ever played. So I figured this would be a good spot to start. I never actually owned a 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗘𝗦, it wasn't my copy that I played. So I figured since I have this one, and the PS3 era is kind of the era of Ratchet I'm most familiar with, since this is the first one, that this would be a fun one. I remember playing a little bit of this game back in the day, and I think this is how I first found out about the 6-axis controller, because at the beginning there's a part where you're like falling out of the sky, and asks you to tilt the controller, and I actually didn't even know that that was a PS3 feature until I played this game. But yeah, definitely excited to play this one. This might end up being the first one I play. I'm just really in the mood to play a Ratchet game. As I said, I've never played a Ratchet game all the way through. The next game I picked out was the 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗘𝗦 and Shadow of the Colossus collection. I'm going to be focusing on 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗚, but I will move into Shadow of the Colossus if I have the time. I just didn't include it in the 10 games I picked out. I also do have the PS4 version, so I'm not exactly sure which one I want to play. I'll probably end up playing the PS4 version. But yeah, 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗚, I've always been interested in kind of this trilogy. I do have The Last Guardian as well. So if I enjoy 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗚 enough, I'll probably move into Shadow of the Colossus and then move into The Last Guardian. I've heard mostly great things about Shadow of the Colossus for a long time, and also 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗚 I feel like has gotten more praise recently. I know the YouTuber 𝗡𝗏𝗏, I believe it's still his favorite game of all time. So I'm definitely really interested to check out 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗚, and excited to check out Shadow of the Colossus if I happen to have the time as well. The third game I picked out was the only PS4 game I ended up choosing, which is Resident Evil 4, which if you know anything about Resident Evil 4, this is on pretty much every platform, but this is the only version I currently own. I have played a little bit of the Wii version, which was pretty good, but never got very far. So I definitely want to get some experience with Resident Evil, and I feel like with the 4 remake having just come out, a lot of people say this version is very different and it's still worth playing. I was thinking about playing the Resident Evil 2 remake instead, but I decided to go with Resident Evil 4. The next game I chose I kind of cheated with, which is Rare Replay. I did decide to pull out my copy of Nuts and Bolts as well as Cameo, as these are 2 of the games in the collection, and 2 of the ones I'm considering playing. My goal is to at least beat 1 new game from this collection. So really the only games I've played that are in this collection are the Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, and Conquer, I believe. I haven't really played any other games in here. As of now, I'm kind of leaning towards either Grabbed by the Ghoulies or Viva Pinata. I know Viva Pinata is a pretty long game, so maybe I'll just kind of mess around with it. But I at least want to beat 1 new game from this collection. One of my goals over the last year has been trying to collect every Rare game, at least from the N64 on, and I've done pretty good, but I definitely need to start playing some of the ones in this collection here. Game number 5 is going to start moving us into the Nintendo stuff, and this one I also kind of cheated with. I have Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. I'm not exactly sure which one I want to play first. I've never played Skyward Sword, and Twilight Princess I've done like the intro in the first dungeon in the past, but never got too far. I know a lot of people prefer Twilight Princess, and these versions both have HD versions, but these are the ones that I have, so these are the ones I'm going to end up playing probably. But definitely looking forward to these. As of now, I feel like I'm honestly leaning towards Skyward Sword, but if you have any input on which one I should end up giving a shot, let me know. I just know both these games are relatively lengthy, so I'm definitely not going to have time for both of them, so that's why I'm including them in the same spot. Next game I picked out is No More Heroes. This is a series I've wanted to try out for so long, all the way back to around the time the game came out. And with 1 and 2 coming to Switch and PC, No More Heroes 3 coming out, and Traffic Strikes Again coming out, it's definitely time for me to catch up, so I figured I'd still start with the first game. I've actually never played a single Suda51 game, so I'm really excited to check this out, as this is definitely one of his most popular and I feel like most beloved games. The 7th game I picked is Punch-Out. I know this is a pretty short one. I don't really have much experience with Punch-Out, but I've always loved the art style of this one. I've heard a lot of people talk about this game as of late. A lot of people say this is like a pretty much perfect game for what it is. I'm definitely really excited to play it. I do have the balance board. I'm not sure what the best control method is, but I feel like trying the balance board could be fun, but I probably will just use the regular controls here. This is one of those Wii titles I've always been meaning to get around to and I only recently picked up, so I'm definitely hoping I'll have the time to play it this summer. The only 3DS game I picked out was 𝗟𝗜𝗡𝗏𝗏. It's always good to have a 2D platformer and some handheld games just in case I'm not around and I have a little bit of time to play something. As you know, I love the 3DS, and this is one of the best regarded Kirby games as far as I know, so it's definitely one I'm looking forward to playing. Last two games I got here are both RPGs, the first one being a little bit shorter. I have Dragon Warrior 1 and 2. The goal is just to beat the first one. I would consider myself a pretty big Dragon Quest fan, despite having only played, I think, 4 of the numbered games. And with the 3 HD 2D remake hopefully coming out this year, or next year, or who knows when, I have been meaning to play at least the first 2 before that version comes out. So as I said, I'm going to focus on 1. If I happen to have time for 2, just like with Shadow of the Colossus, I will try and move into it as well. But the goal is just to beat the first one. And then the last game I got is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This is definitely the big one. I'm not expecting to get through this. I just hope I enjoy it, because I'm not going to play it all the way through if I don't end up liking it. And this one definitely seems like the most divisive in the series. I really enjoyed the first game, so I'm hoping I like this. I believe this is like a 60+ hour game, so I'm expecting it's going to be into the 80-hour range for me at least, if I'm doing some of the side content. So definitely one I'm a little intimidated by, but I decided I at least needed one big RPG, and this is the one I decided to go with. So here's all the games I picked out. As I said, the goal is to get at least through 5 out of the 10 games I showed. As obviously I'm still going to be playing new releases, I only got so much time. It's not like these are exclusively the only games I'm going to be playing, because sometimes I might get in the mood to play something that's not on this list. But I just thought it would be kind of fun to bring this trend back and set a goal. And if any of you have any plans of what you're playing this summer, go ahead and make your own video or just leave it in the comments. That would be awesome. Sorry it's a bit of a shorter video, but I don't really have much to say about these games as I've never played really any of them. With that being said, I hope you all have a good summer and hopefully are able to spend at least a little bit of time playing some games.